If being kind and respectful were the secret to attracting women, then nice guys would have lines of admirers, right? But why is reality the complete opposite? Why do so many guys who do everything right end up just as friends, while others, who don't even try that hard, are seen as irresistible? The answer lies in 7 behaviors that may be sabotaging your love life without you even realizing it. And today, I'm going to show you what they are and how to avoid them. Reason number 1, he's predictable and emotionless. There's one thing that can make a woman lose interest fast. It's a man who's as predictable as an open book. If she already knows exactly what you're going to say, how you're going to act, and even what messages you'll send. Where's the excitement? Women are driven by emotion, by that feeling of novelty and mystery. But the overly nice guy always follows. The same script, he agrees with everything, avoids any conflict, and never surprises her. And you know what happens? She loses interest. Think about this. She's getting to know 2 guys at the same time. One always responds with whatever you want to everything, while the other has opinions, suggests different things, and even challenges some of her ideas. Who do you think will spark more interest? Without a doubt, the second guy. The first one might seem comfortable at first, but soon he becomes boring. After all, if he never brings anything new, why should she keep investing in him? The biggest mistake the predictable guy makes is thinking that just being reliable is enough to create attraction. But women don't fall in love with stability itself. They fall in love with how they feel when they're with you. This doesn't mean acting irresponsibly or impulsively, but rather leading an interesting life, suggesting different experiences, and breaking out of the routine. Small details, like recommending an unusual book, suggesting an unexpected outing, or simply having a firm opinion about something, make all the difference. So, if you feel like women lose interest quickly, ask yourself, are you truly creating memorable moments, or are you just repeating a safe and boring pattern? Because the difference between being an exciting man or just a nice guy lies right there. And believe me, it's not about doing more, but about doing things differently. Reason number 2, he doesn't set boundaries. Do you think a woman respects a man who accepts everything? There's one thing that completely kills a woman's respect for a man: when he accepts everything just to please her. When a guy says yes to everything, not because he wants to, but because he's afraid of upsetting her, he's not being kind. He's erasing himself. At first, this might seem convenient for her, but over time, it turns into a lack of respect. Women like attention and affection, yes, but they will never admire a man who doesn't know how to stand his ground. Now, imagine this scene. A couple goes out to dinner, and without realizing it, the woman speaks rudely to the waiter. The guy notices but says nothing to avoid conflict. She might not realize it at the moment, but deep down, she loses a bit of respect for him. Now, if he had said something like, "Hey, I don't think that was cool. He's just doing his job," without being aggressive but standing firm, her perception of him would change completely. That shows he has principles and won't just let them slide to keep the peace. Respect comes from the boundaries you set. If she notices she can talk to you however she wants, cancel plans without consideration, or make demands without ever hearing a no, guess what? Admiration fades. Men who know how to say, "I'm not comfortable with this," or "this doesn't work for me," show that they have self-worth. And the most interesting part, women test these boundaries all the time, often without even realizing it. And when a guy fails these tests, attraction simply disappears. Now tell me, have you ever been in this situation? Have you noticed that being too flexible made a woman lose interest? Drop a comment below. I want to hear your thoughts. Reason number 3, he gives off neediness and desperation. Nothing makes a woman lose interest faster than a man who seems desperate for attention. Have you ever seen this happen? At first, he's super attentive, replies to messages within seconds, and is always available. But after a while, this behavior starts to feel suffocating. What seemed like genuine interest turns into an overwhelming need. And let's be honest, no woman feels attracted to a man who seems to depend on her for his happiness. Now imagine she takes a few hours to reply. The needy guy immediately panics. He sends another message, starts wondering if he did something wrong, and creates 1,000 scenarios in his head. The problem isn't showing interest, it's seeming incapable of living his own life without her response. When a man does this, he automatically loses control of the dynamic because he makes it clear that she sets the pace of the relationship. Women are attracted to men who have an interesting life beyond the relationship. They want someone with purpose, friends, hobbies, and personal goals. A guy who puts a woman at the center of his routine as if nothing else matters gives the impression that he has no other options. And the truth is simple: desire comes from the perception of value. If he seems desperate, the message she receives is, "Nobody else wants me," and that kills attraction instantly. The key is balance. If you send a message and she takes a while to respond, relax and go live your life. If she cancels a date, don't always be available as if nothing else matters. Attraction doesn't come from persistence, it comes from the perception that you're a secure man with options, in control of your own life. Reason number 4, he doesn't create sexual tension. You know, one of the most common mistakes guys who consider themselves nice make? They talk to a woman as if they were just friends. They avoid any kind of flirtation, don't create that spark of attraction, and end up stuck in the dreaded friend zone. The problem? Emotional connection might be important, but without sexual tension, nothing evolves into something deeper. Many guys think that just being patient will eventually make the woman realize how amazing they are. But attraction doesn't work that way. Women are drawn to men who know how to create anticipation, who introduce that subtle game of teasing and mystery. Small gestures make all the difference. An intense look at the right moment, a casual touch, a way of speaking that exudes confidence. These things activate her instincts and turn the conversation into something much more exciting. Now, think about the difference between two guys on a date. One keeps the conversation flat, asks typical questions like, "What's your favorite movie?" and avoids any physical touch. The other senses the right moment, playfully touches her arm, maintains strong eye contact, and smiles with confidence. Which one do you think will leave a lasting impression? Without a doubt, the second guy. Attraction is built in these subtle details. If you don't learn how to create sexual tension, you'll always be seen as a nice guy, but never as a romantic option. The secret is to develop a sense of mystery, playfully challenge her, and above all, show interest without fear. A man's confidence in his own masculinity is what makes a woman feel that irresistible energy that draws her closer. Reason number 5, he's afraid of rejection and avoids. Taking the lead, many men avoid making decisions because they're afraid of making mistakes or upsetting others. They'd rather let the woman choose everything, from the restaurant to the direction of the relationship. But contrary to what they think, this doesn't come across as respect. It comes across as a lack of leadership. Women don't want a man who bends to every situation out of insecurity. What truly attracts them is a man who knows what he wants and isn't afraid to take risks. Now, imagine a guy asks a woman out, and when she asks where they're going, he replies, "Oh, you choose. Any place is fine with me." That might seem flexible, but in reality, it sends a bad message. He has no preferences, or worse, he's so afraid of making the wrong choice that he refuses to take the lead. Now, compare that to a man who says, "There's an amazing restaurant. I want to take you to. You're going to love it." Her perception of him changes completely. Rejection is part of life, but nice guys do everything they can to avoid it. They only show interest after receiving obvious signs of reciprocity, which puts them in a passive position. Meanwhile, other men who aren't afraid to take initiative end up capturing her attention. If you want to be seen as someone worth it, stop waiting for permission to act. Say what you want, express your opinion, and don't be afraid to occasionally disappoint someone. Not everyone will agree with you, and that's okay. But a man who stands his ground will always be respected. And in the end, that's what truly creates attraction. Reason number 6. He doesn't create emotional challenges. One of the biggest mistakes guys make when trying too hard to please is making everything too easy. They think that by agreeing with everything and always being available, they'll win the woman over. But the reality is the opposite. Her interest grows when there's a bit of mystery, when she feels like she has to put in some effort. Now think about the difference between two men. One replies to every message instantly, accepts any invitation without hesitation, and never challenges anything. The other is engaging but maintains an air of mystery. He doesn't always respond immediately, he has his own life, and he's not always available. The first guy becomes predictable and boring. The second makes the woman invest more in the interaction, trying to figure him out. And guess which one she'll find more intriguing? This also happens when a woman makes a teasing remark, expecting the man to agree or justify himself. The nice guy quickly tries to explain himself or soften any disagreement. Meanwhile, a man who understands female psychology responds with a smile and a playful counterpoint, creating a dynamic and engaging exchange. This subtle game of challenge makes her feel emotionally stimulated. Relationships based solely on comfort tend to lose their intensity quickly. The secret is to balance security with unpredictability. This doesn't mean picking fights for no reason, but knowing how to stand your ground, maintaining a bit of mystery, and, most importantly, letting her feel like she's winning you over too. After all, the game of attraction works best when both people are playing. Reason number 7. He thinks being nice is enough. Many men believe that being polite, helpful, and respectful is enough to attract a woman. They follow all the rules of good behavior, thinking that alone will make them irresistible. But here's a harsh truth: being a nice guy is not a unique trait. Women expect respect and politeness as a basic standard, not as a reason to feel attracted. What truly captivates them goes far beyond that. The difference between an average guy and a man who sparks desire lies in how he presents himself to the world. A guy who just tries to be agreeable blends into the crowd, but a man with presence, who expresses himself with confidence and lives an interesting life, naturally stands out. He doesn't need to prove he's a great choice. His attitude speaks for itself. Now, picture these two scenarios. One guy spends the entire date agreeing with everything, giving generic compliments, and showing excessive interest. The other leads the conversation with authenticity, shares his views without fear of disagreement, and balances charm with playful teasing. The first one is quickly forgotten. The second one creates a deep connection because he's not just trying to please, he's being genuine. If you believe that just being nice is enough, it's time to change your approach. Attraction doesn't come from constant approval. It comes from a combination of self-confidence, well-defined masculinity, and purpose. Women want a man who makes them feel something, who has a strong presence, and who inspires respect, not someone who is just seeking approval. Once you understand this, you'll never be just the nice guy again. If this content made sense to you, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more tips that actually make a difference. And don't go anywhere. The next video is already playing on the screen, and it will help you level up even more. I'll see you there.